The political right pretends to be against taxes. They pretend to have a principled opposition to tax. This is of course total nonsense. It goes without saying that taxes are essential. They fund the state. The state enforces property rights, facilitates the functioning of the free market, and maintains order and security. Tax is not theft. Without tax there is no theft, because nobody has property rights. Without enforced laws, anyone can take anything. Obviously the right is not opposed to taxation, but they do try to portray themselves as the opponents of taxes. This is also nonsense. On numerous occasions, right-wingers have introduced new taxes. In New Zealand and Australia, right-wing politicians introduced the goods and services tax. In New Zealand, the goods and services tax was introduced by Roger Douglas, the man who founded the ACT Party. The goods and services tax was part of the economic agenda that ACT was founded to complete. Remember that next time the ACT Party pretends to be against taxes. Margaret Thatcher famously criticised the left for wanting to spend other people's money. The irony is that Thatcher was also more than happy to spend other people's money. She introduced a poll tax, a tax on existence itself. Simply existing obligated you to pay this tax. And yet Thatcher is regarded as some kind of enemy of taxation. She was anything but. The key point I am getting at here is simple. The political right is not against tax. They are very happy to make ordinary working people pay tax. In the past, they have introduced new taxes on working class people. GST and the poll tax being two examples. They are very happy to introduce new taxes for ordinary working people. The political right does want tax cuts, but they do not want them for you. They want tax cuts for their rich donors. They may throw you some crumbs to appease you. Just look at Trump. He gave the rich an enormous tax cut. He gave ordinary people a relatively minuscule tax cut to appease them. He intends to do the same again if elected. The right does not care about cutting your taxes. They care about cutting the taxes of the rich and wealthy. The people who more often than not fund their campaigns. The right wants to redistribute the tax burden. That is what Roger Douglas did with his GST. He introduced GST, which is a flat tax by stealth. GST significantly increases taxes on everyday working people. Roger Douglas used GST to fund massive tax cuts for the wealthy. Top income tax rates were reduced massively, and a new tax targeting working people helped to pay for it. The tax reform of the right does not cut tax so much as it redistributes it. It is class war, pure and simple. Do not let the political right deceive you. They will try to convince you that they are anti-tax. Do not believe them. They want tax cuts for their rich donors. They will happily fund these tax cuts by increasing taxes for you. They will happily fund these tax cuts by gutting the public services that you rely on. They will happily take from those who have the least to give even more to those who have the most. We must remember that. We must defeat them.